Howdy folks, this is Big Sam. Today, we're going to be taking a look at another interesting mark that you may have on your Mosin Nagant rifle. Now, to start off, we're looking at a rifle. This particular rifle is a 1943 Tula 9130 rifle. And the marking we're looking at today, and I'm going to have to be specific here because as you can see, somebody just took out every stamp in the bin and stamped this gun. The marking we're looking at today is this marking right here, okay? This is a little box, and within it, it looks like a U. This is actually upside down. This is another example. This one's right side up. So let me pull the rifle closer and we'll take a closer look at it here. So it's actually, it looks like an N there. Let me get my pointer. Within a box. So this marking is actually a refurbishment marking. But this is actually really helpful because this is a general refurbishment marking. This isn't some specific marking to one specific refurbishment arsenal because there's a ton of them. There's a lot we know about and there's probably even more we don't know about exactly. But what this marking indicates is a shooting adjustment after a refurbishment was conducted on a rifle. Now, the way we know this is thanks to the research of Alexander Yushchenko. He's our good friend over in Russia, and he does a lot of research on the 9130 rifle. If you're interested in looking in detail about all interesting markings, I'm going to leave a link to his website, m9130.info, down in the description. If you haven't been there, please check it out because I promise you, you will learn something. So, thanks to Alex, we know that this box means that there was a shooting adjustment done after a refurbishment. Now, he doesn't really say or go into specifics about what a shooting adjustment is. One of the things it could mean is an adjustment of the sights, the front or probably the front sights, because sometimes when you change out the stock or things like that, the rifle may shoot a little bit differently depending on how it's applying pressure to the barrel, or they could have simply replaced a damaged sight. Well, I have no idea, but what we do know is that it appears that this indicates that a refurbishment was done to the rifle. So as far as I can tell from looking at rifles, pretty much if a refurbishment was done, they stamped this stamp on the rifle. Okay, now what's interesting here is that among all the different stamps, this rifle actually has not one, not two, but 3 of these shooting adjustment boxes. So what this indicates to us, and we can kind of infer this from all the stamps, is that this rifle was refurbished at least 3 separate times. Now, this gets really interesting because as we can see here, this is a box, that a shooting adjustment box as well. This one has an X in through it. According to what Alex's research says, that these boxes were actually supposed to be ground off or crossed out whenever there was another refurbishment done. But he also states that a lot of times this wasn't done. And based off of rifles I've seen like this one, we can kind of see some people did it. So somebody crossed an older refurbishment marking out, and then whoever did either this one or this one didn't cross out the other. So we have 3 different these shooting adjustment markings here. This is sort of the, over-the-top crazy case, but it's nice to have a look at something like this. Generally, I would only see one of these boxes on a rifle, though. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a lot more of rifles to give you a better understanding and an idea of what these can look like, because sometimes they're not stamped perfectly. But again, this is what one looks like on a 1943 Tula 9130 rifle. So I'm going to take this and set it to the side. The next rifle we're going to look at is another 9130 rifle. This one was made by the Izhevsk arsenal in 1941. And as we can see here, we have a shooting adjustment box. And very faintly stamped, it appears we have another shooting adjustment box here. So it looks like we have two. We'll look over the whole rifle to see if we can find anything more. This is actually an arsenal marking, but we'll talk about that another day. It does appear that this one only has these two, and that's fine. One other thing to mention on this one. You might have seen this. See this marking here? I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's very typical to see this duplicated on both the barrel and the receiver. This is a marking that was applied at the time of production. This is not a refurbishment marking, so the rifle originally would have had this on it. Alright, so I'm going to set this guy to the side, and we're going to take a look at our next rifle. Here we have an X-Dragoon, a very old one. You've seen this before if you've been watching our channel. This one is, of course, made by the Izhevsk arsenal. And looking around here, let's see. Looks like right here is our shooting adjustment box. You can see sometimes they're stamped halfway and not very well at all. That is something else. That's a T marking, as it appears. This is probably our shooting adjustment box on this guy. That's another refurbishment arsenal marking. And again, we'll talk about that in another video. So let's look at our next rifle. Our next rifle is actually not a 9130. This is an M38 produced by the Izhevsk arsenal in 1941. So kind of an earlier M38. And we look around on this guy. Now, this guy's had some coloring done to him, but as you can see here, let me get my pointer. Right here is our shooting adjustment box. This P in a box. Now, I say P because even though this looks like an N, this is actually the Cyrillic Russian character for P. So I'll refer to this as P in a box, the shooting adjustment box. It looks like we only have one on this particular rifle. All right, what's next? So next we have a PU sniper rifle. This one is a 1944 Izhevsk, and if we look closely here, we can see our shooting adjustment box right here. It seems like it's very common for it to be down here on the right side of the barrel shank, but as we saw in that M38, sometimes it can be on the other side as well. It just depends on what the arsenal refurbishment guys ate for breakfast, I guess. So this one, it looks like we only have one on this one. All right. What's next? All right, so the last rifle we're going to take a look at today is another 9130 rifle. This one was produced by the Tula Arsenal in 1939. And again, there's really nothing on the left side, but if we look on the right side here, we can see our shooting adjustment mark right here, that P in a box. This one is like sideways. It should be like P here, but it said it's P here. So it's sort of canted 90 degrees to the left, but who cares? We can identify that that's what that is. And this is great because it's a mark like this that's partially stamped. You really only know what this is if you know what you're looking for, right? If you don't really know what this is or what you're looking for, then who knows what this is, right? This could be 2 L's, right? 1 L and another L here. But since we know what we're looking for, we can infer from the models we've already looked at that this is actually a shooting adjustment box. So it just helps to take a look at a lot of rifles to get used to what one looks like. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have a Mosin Nagant, especially a refurbished model, go ahead and take a look at it and see if you can find that shooting adjustment box. Maybe yours has 3. So far, the record for the most I've seen on a rifle is 3. Let's try to break that record. If you have even more than 3, go ahead and let me know. Post in the comments how many your rifle has, because I'd love to hear about it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what y'all would like to see next. Let me know if y'all have any prayer requests. And I'll see you next time.